Going to record this to the cloud. Okay, we're live. Let's do it. Share screen. Okay, this is what we're doing today. We're going through defining and non-defining relative clauses. And first we'll take a Kahoot and then we'll review some slides together. And then we'll take the Kahoot again and hopefully there'll be some improvement. I think this isn't the easiest grammar topic, but I think we can show improvement today. So here we go. Let's join this Kahoot. Okay. Great, thanks, Angelica. Dr. Ayush, welcome back. And welcome back, Victor. Let me mark you down for attendance. Welcome back, Jermaine. Dr. Ayush, you're here. And Victor, you're here. Okay. Two, four, 6, 8. Still waiting for 3 more people. Do you need any help? Okay, we'll start in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Wait, hold on. I just joined in.
Okay. Welcome, Bosco. Welcome back. Mark you down, Bosco. Welcome.
No, still joining in. I don't know why you sign in again.
Okay.
But okay.
All right. Let's do it, guys. I see 6 people in here. I see Jackie, Victor, Dr. Ayush.
There we go. Wait.
Angelica. Bosco.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Got 7 people here. Defining and non-defining relative clauses. What word goes there? Okay, great. So in this case, both are correct. All right, and then we'll get into that a bit more during our lesson. That and which are correct. Good, super. Now let's combine these two sentences. Great, nice job. All right, so we see that I met a girl who knows you. Nice job, guys. Super. Combine the two sentences. Good. So the girl who works in the shop doesn't speak English. All right. Combine the two sentences. Okay. This was a little tricky, and I think the key is here. Right? The man's car. Okay. The man's. Man and man's are different. So that is the man whose car was stolen. Nice. Great job, guys. Combine the two sentences. Okay, so they live in Hong Kong. Where is a relative pronoun, which means in which. Hong Kong is a where. They live in Hong Kong, where the chief executive is a woman. She saw the boy. Great job. Okay. So we can't have a sentence like this. We need to add a relative pronoun to combine. The boy lives next door and she saw the boy. We use who to describe people. Okay, great. Another sentence. It's not only a grammar test, it's a reading test, isn't it? Good. So I met a boy who can speak Chinese very well. Okay. Angelica's on fire. Congratulations, Angelica. I like shops. Okay, so both are correct. Nice job. That and which are okay. Great, Tremaine. Nice job. Combine the two sentences. Okay, both are correct. I work in a company that or which sells things on the internet. Okay, so a company is not a person. Oh, it's so close. That's the film. Okay, so both are correct. You can say that's the film, or I saw the film on TV. And you can use that, or you don't have to use that. 3 to go. People are nice. Okay, great. Again, people, who. So I like people who are nice. Okay. Students like books that are easy to read. Okay, that or which. Nice job. We'll do our last one. Okay, so the train, and it refers to the train that goes to Shenzhen leaves at midday. Oh, nice. Nice, Bosco. Congratulations. Great, Angelica. Take a photo of this. See if we can improve next time. Okay, super. Send that to our group. Okay. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to look through a bit of grammar. And it seems like there's a lot of ability levels in our class, judging by our Kahoot scores. There's a wide range. And you can follow along. I'll just go through these very quickly. And you can follow along here. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so quick question. What is a noun? Can you give me an example of a noun? Can you type an example of a noun? Here in this chat. So what is an example of a noun? Table. Okay, great. A table is a thing. Yeah, a book is a thing. Okay, so Those are people, places, things, and ideas. So tables, books, with people, we have schools, we have chats. Chats are nouns too. Oh, welcome, Marcus. So, Marcus, you're here as well. Let me mark you down as present. Okay, so if we take a look over here, we see people. And we see the same noun in two sentences. And we can use something called a relative clause. You can repeat after me, relative clause, to how would I say? A relative clause or relative clauses are two related sentences. I'll write that down for us. Right, you know the word relative, like your cousin or your aunt or your uncle. These are related words or related sentences. So relative clauses are related sentences. And we use relative pronouns to connect related sentences by the same noun. Right? So in this case, we see relative clauses. We have, I like my friends know me well. How are these sentences related? They use the same noun, my friends. In this way, we can use a relative pronoun, who, to combine the two sentences. I'll say it again. Relative clauses, right? Relative, like your aunt or your uncle. And clauses, sentences. It means related sentences. So we see two sentences, they share the same noun, so we can combine the sentences into one sentence using a relative pronoun. Any questions? Yes, Jackie? Jackie, if you raise your hand, let me know what your question is. Thank you. Okay, so you might want to repeat after me, relative pronouns, relative pronouns. And we see 4 relative pronouns here. And we already have this intuitive sense of what they connect. So you see in relative pronoun, you see the word noun and relative pronoun. So these are the words that we use to combine two related sentences by the same noun. Right. So again, this is a combined sentence. And we see the common noun is Sally. The studio belongs to Sally. Sally is a fashion designer. So we use who for people. We use which for things, like a table, like a book, like a dress, Mary loves this dress. This dress fits her well. We'll use that for people and things. That's important to know. This is essential. I'll start this one. That is for people and things. So people have dry skin. People may buy products. Products add moisture. So in this case, they combined 3 sentences using 2 relative pronouns. See, 3 sentences combined with 2 relative pronouns. Whose? Ownership. And it generally is about people, right? You see who, in whose. So who is about people and ownership. I have a friend and a friend's brother. You see this over here? The friend's brother is a model. Okay, quickly. I don't think this is as important as understanding relative clauses or related sentences. There are things called defining. You might want to repeat after me. Defining and non-defining. And defining is related to definition. Let me see if I can't. Defining equals definition. So sometimes, just like we have to look up vocabulary words, we have to define vocabulary words. In the same way, we have to define words and sentences. Okay, so defining means adding more information, important information to a sentence. Non-defining means adding not important or additional information. So, defining relative clauses. What happens when we combine 2 related sentences that have important information? 1, use the relative pronouns. When we have 2 sentences and we combine them, but the information isn't as important, we use these relative pronouns, who, which, whose, and we can remove some things from sentences. Okay. Quickly, in the chat, what is your definition of relative clauses? Here. Okay, sure. Now, something we might want to do in defining and providing any definition is avoid using the words that are in the vocabulary word or phrase. So for instance, when we define what a relative clause is, try not to use the word clause. So let's just say sentences. Sentences that give essential information about the subject. Yeah, I think you're close. Yeah. Maybe I'd be a bit more, how would I say, general, Angelica. Sentences that give information about the same noun. I wouldn't say subject because nouns can be objects in sentences, and the information isn't necessarily essential. In defining relative clauses, it's essential. So we have sentences that provide information about the same noun. They can be relative. Okay, so that's a great try, Angelica. All right. How do we use different relative pronouns? So we already had this intuitive sense that who, which, that, and whose. Okay. Now I'm going to go straight through. And we're going to defining relative clauses. Follow along right here. Okay, so defining relative clauses, as you just mentioned, Angelica, it's about essential information, definition, right? Like you're defining vocabulary words. So it's very meaningful. You want to be exact or precise. So which jacket? The one I like the most. So when you use a defining relative, well, Dr. Wu doesn't necessarily agree with this example. I think in English language, it's important to be clear about things. That's why we're learning this. In Cantonese, in Chinese languages, in Asian languages, because our culture isn't as direct and precise, sometimes we just say things like, this is the jacket, and people have to guess. So Cantonese and Chinese languages, there's a lot of guessing. And we have this rule here because in English language, English is a language that isn't about guessing people's meaning. Okay, so I'm just sharing that with you, that English is not as much a guessing language as Cantonese or other Chinese languages. That's why we have these rules. You can be as clear as possible with English language. Okay, so we've seen this before, guys. We see which and that. We've seen this before, right? Right. So Sally is a young girl. Who or that? Great. Thanks, Sally. So this is important to know, that when you're combining two relative clauses and they're defining, Tom is a friend, which friend I like chatting with. When the object is Tom, and then you combine the sentences with who or that, you don't have to include who or that. But I recommend you just use it. Use who, use that. Don't get into the habit of omitting things. For now, as you're learning, always write out who, always write out that. Similarly, in this case, you can omit, that is remove, which or that, but just use which, use that, just write it out. Right? This is important as well. You can't omit whose. So Dr. Wu again recommends just write out all the relative pronouns. Just write everything out. Again, Dr. Wu wants everything to be simple. Always write out the relative pronoun. Do not omit. Okay. So you don't have to remember any of these rules, guys, if you just write out your relative pronouns. Okay. Do you remember anything about defining relative clauses? Do you remember about defining relative clauses? Yeah, okay, I agree, Ayush. Dr. Ayush. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Yeah, I think it requires a lot of practice. It's okay if you can't explain it, so long as you can do it accurately. That's today's learning target. Yeah, relative clauses are combined through relative pronouns, Leva. Nice job. Great. Okay, so again, just going back to today's learning target, it's not about knowing, can you use relative clauses accurately? So I'm mindful of the time, so we're going to do the Kahoot one last time. I've actually changed the parameters, so we only have 10 seconds for each Kahoot. Let's see if there's any improvement in our scores. So let's join this Kahoot. Let's see if we can't improve our scores. Okay. Start in 1 minute. 218, 249. Doctor. Okay, we'll start in 30 seconds. Fifteen seconds. Start 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We've seen these questions before. Now we only have 10 seconds. Okay, great job, guys. Super. Same thing. Oh, so I met a girl, and who? A girl knows you. I met a girl who knows you. Now this, a girl knows you, but putting that there means a girl I met. That's not a sentence. A girl I met is not a sentence. Okay. Yep. She likes films. Easy. Great. So super duper. That or which. Both are fine. Great, super duper. So I met a boy, again, relative pronoun who, can speak Chinese very well. Super. I work in a company. Okay, again, that or which are fine. Company. It's a thing. She saw the boy. Okay, so boy, the relative pronoun to combine sentences is who or that, not which is used for things. Oh, here we are. This was a tricky one. This wasn't in the slides. It's just a harder question. Okay, so again, They live in Hong Kong. And where is the relative pronoun, which means in which. Where equals in which. All right, so I'm just going to write that down. Where equals in which. And where is used for places. So they live in Hong Kong, where the chief executive is a woman. And I like shops. Great. All right. So again, whose is incorrect because who refers to people. There are no people, or shops is not people. Shops is not people. Okay. So the answer is not who, because we see the man's car and the man are different. So you see actually whose car was stolen? The man's car. Another easy one. Okay, so again, books is a thing, which or that. Books are not people, right? Who? Books are not who. 3 to go. Great. Right. So you have to combine the two sentences. It leaves at midday is one sentence. It doesn't combine the sentences. 2 to go. Nice job, guys. All right, so this is the example where you can either include that or you can omit it, that is remove it. The doctor recommends always use that. Right. Who is incorrect? Film is not people. Last one. Okay. So if we take a look at the blue answer, the girl works in the shop. This means the shop doesn't speak English. Technically, that's true, but that's not what you want to say. You want to say the girl doesn't speak English, not that the shop doesn't speak English. Okay. Great. Legendary. Nice. Super. Take a photo of this. Let's see who came in 4th and 5th. All right. Great job, guys. Congratulations. Congratulations. Did you guys improve? First, last, send that to our WhatsApp group as well. Great. Congratulations, Dr. Ayush. I'm very proud of you. Thanks for coming. You learned something today. That's awesome. Any questions? No? Okay. God bless you guys. We're done with the lesson. I'm going